Okay, when you get to that point, your brain is going to try to tell you this. You need to redirect and focus on the next goal. One thing I do recognize is there are kind of certain points that tend to stand out during these 100-mile races where I can be fairly certain, okay, that's going to maybe be a spot that sort of triggers a thought process of like doubt or something like that. So a lot of times for me, that's somewhere in like the 30 to 40 mile range, because a lot of times my long runs will get up to around that distance in training. And then, you know, you hit that point in the race, you're like, okay, now I'm going beyond that. And then you kind of can easily start thinking, but there's still 60, 70 miles to go. And if you start trying to wrap your head around that much with the cumulative fatigue of what you've been doing at your longest long run in training, that can get very discouraging. So that's always a kind of a little bit of a mark that I always put down before a race. Be like, okay, when you get to that point, your brain is going to try to tell you this. You need to redirect and focus on the next goal. And the more I think about that ahead of time, the more likely I'm going to catch that when it comes and redirect and not overthink it and kind of stay on track. There's other ones too. Once you get to like around 70 miles, that one can be interesting. It can be like kind of a little bit of a black or white experience. If I've mismanaged things, like went out a little too fast or didn't do a good job of my fueling and hydration, that last 30 miles can look very daunting, because then you can kind of think like, I feel like trash and I have to do a whole nother long run. Or you do all the right things, you pace right, you fuel and you hydrate, and you get to that point and you think, I did a dozen long runs during this last training cycle and I just have to do one more now. So your brain kind of goes away from thinking I have to run 100 miles today to, all right, I just got to do one more long run. And that's something I've been doing basically every weekend for the last 2 or 3 months.